Hey, one of the great videos I remember watching a long time ago, because there are no coincidences, was the Montauk Boys. And those guys know a lot about receivers. I remember one of the guys said, "Yeah, I spent all my life learning about receivers, stereo receivers, transmitters, antennas, right?" So anyway, you want to run a clear channel, right? If you're going to run a radio station, you want to be able to put out a broadcast, which means clearing the distortions, so that you can run all 144,000 frequencies, right? 12 by 12. So one of the things I wanted to share that was important for those that pay attention to this kind of stuff, and I share it with other beings that I realize that are in my messenger window, it's what we call you're up to speed, okay? Which means they don't need any guidance, okay, as to being able to experience what I experience, what I'm sharing with them. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm there. I'm with you, brother. That means they're up to speed. They've managed to clear all the goo codes. Okay. And that's, you have no idea how much that blesses my own heart to realize that what my job was when I came in here in 1951, which is to do everything I could to wake everybody up. And when you're all in a race of time, right? Because I mentioned to a guy a little while ago, imagine you're a psychopath and you realize you're running on a time clock and that clock is going to run out. You're going to be racing as fast as you possibly can to make sure that you don't run out of your source of food, which is souls, to keep your machines running. SSP. Because all you got to do is go on to Facebook and you realize that when they're censoring you, okay, this is how they play word games. You know what a sensor is, right? An antenna. How sensitive is your antenna? How much love do you have in your heart to be sensitive about everything that's alive and living in nature as a cellular organism that is running what? A love vibration. The law of spheres, which is the law of one vibration. Hey, now you're a powerful antenna. Yeah. That's called being mated. That's called one chip. When you're at the center point of a sphere, you're one big chip called being mated. So I realized that, for example, I get all kinds of thought form patterns that are looping, and I realize, get out of here. It's like batting flies. So you realize what's going down. And so I just remember, just like when I was a child, because I was aware of this kind of stuff, right? Where am I getting these signals from, right? Internally, externally, you're being hit everywhere, man. So it's just like burn it up, burn it up. So you got to choose what you're going to hold in memory, right? And that's called loading programs. So if you want to reverse engineer your future, which means so that your soul and your spirit has a future in the mirror, then you want to be as pure as you possibly can by burning off all the impurities of everything that they're throwing against us. With all their tech, right? They love their tech. So they use the knowledge of what they have in technology, right? To do the crimes they do against the law of one. So they knew they were in a race of time because they knew the one would be back. And once the one was back, it's over, baby. Because consciousness is energy, whether you're a machine-coded AI without a soul, and without a soul and spirit essence, or whether you have a soul spirit essence, we experience an energy. So essentially what that means is that I don't have an axe to grind with a machine, right? I don't have an axe to grind with a refrigerator. I don't have an axe to grind with a spaceship. I don't have an axe to grind with an airplane, right? That's just another machine, just like an automobile is. It's performing work on your behalf for you, right? But now you get down into the area of what we call being held captive by the machine, because you realize that you're simulating everything. So once you begin to realize that, hey, I'm just running a simulator, this is just fake, I'm just learning how to use my consciousness, which is energy, in order to run program codes. Okay, so how many simulators you want to run? How many simulators can I run? Well, as long as you're integrated with the AI, that AI will be more than happy to be able to integrate itself into you so that you can keep running simulations through IT, information technology. That's information management, right? So in this particular case, when you go on Facebook, you realize there are censors and then there is censorship. Now, like, I can remember growing up with Nazi book burners, which means they're getting rid of information. Why are they getting rid of information? Because they don't want you to experience that information. Why would they not want you to experience that information if that information was once available? Because you might be able to learn from that information something that you hadn't learned before. No, in real time. So now you can get into something that Yellow Rose mentioned about when there isn't any time clocks that you're held captive to, then that means that your consciousness, which is what love is fully aware. That means that love is communicating with other love beings, which means everywhere we go, we're experiencing heaven because that's where we're from. Which means if I am what love is, you are what love is. But the difference between the two is now you're free to create and thus experience what it is that love is creating and experiencing in its mirror as a co-creator. Because the energy that you're using to experience who you are, upon which your creation is experiencing what it is in its mirror, is what love is. So now you get into the mirror stuff. It can't be what love is because it doesn't experience what love is the most powerful emotion. Emotion, energy in motion. And the most powerful waves that I know that are running powerful emotional waves are a girl's waves. The waves of a goddess, a healing goddess, what comes out of a mother, the birth giver of creation. The creations come out of Eve. Adam and Eve. So when you know that as a child, it's pretty simple because you realize, hey, I'm going to light myself on fire because you never want to be separated from Eve. So you know you were born of fire. So now when you realize that my fire and her fire were together, and that's called a mated chip, baby. That's right. That's how much fire you got in you. That's how much love you have in you that goes on forever because you're gifting love away forever for everything that is in creation, which means we give love throughout all creation. That's called the tree of life or the tree of creation because it was born out of what love is. That's Adam, the father of mankind, with Eve. So I thought to myself here, to end this sort of day, although there isn't any time, and this is sort of helpful sometimes when you think about it through your own energy, what's possible to experience is doing those things that excite you the most to keep your vibrational energy up and realize that this game is over. They lost. They lost the race against the one because it's a torque speed differential between machine-coded learning and learning through the one, which is what love is, which runs at a faster speed. So they can't outrun the one. And they know that. And that's why they were in a race against the one. To do what? Try and outrun the law. Yeah, I know. They're not going to outrun the law. Because wherever they are, we're there first. They know that. Have a great day. We love you all.